Welcome, I'm the Sleepy Brit. Today we're recapping Hyperion, the first book in Dan Simmons' science fiction epic. This story is set in the distant future, where humanity has spread across hundreds of worlds, connected by the World Web, a network of instantaneous travel portals. The hegemony of man governs this interstellar civilization, but beyond its borders lurk the ousters, spacefaring humans who've evolved separately and now threaten invasion. At the center of everything is Hyperion, a mysterious frontier world home to the time tombs, ancient structures that appear to be moving backward through time, and the Shrike, a terrifying creature of blades and legend that grants wishes to some pilgrims while slaughtering others. Our story follows 7 pilgrims chosen for what may be the final Shrike pilgrimage. There's the hegemony Consul, a diplomat with a traumatic past connection to Hyperion, who receives the mission despite his reluctance. Father Hoyt, a Jesuit priest carrying the burden of another priest's harrowing journey to find a lost tribe, and 5 others, each with their own secrets and reasons for making this dangerous journey. One of them may be an ouster spy. The stakes are enormous. An ouster invasion fleet of over 4,000 ships approaches Hyperion. The time tombs are opening for the first time in centuries, and the Shrike, that mysterious killer god, awaits. As evacuation forces race to save Hyperion's citizens, these 7 pilgrims travel in the opposite direction, each hoping the Shrike will answer their prayer rather than add them to its collection of victims. Hyperion is a science fiction novel set in a far future, where humanity has spread across the galaxy, connected by a network of portal gates called farcasters. The story centers on 7 pilgrims making a journey to the distant world of Hyperion, where an enigmatic creature called the Shrike awaits at the mysterious time tombs, structures that move backward through time. The novel opens with the hegemony Consul, a diplomat, receiving an urgent message from the government. An invasion fleet of over 4,000 ouster ships is approaching Hyperion, and the legendary time tombs are finally opening. The Consul is selected as one of 7 pilgrims for what may be the last Shrike pilgrimage. He accepts, despite knowing from personal experience how dangerous this mission truly is. The 7 pilgrims travel together aboard an ancient barge called the Benares, and during their journey, each shares the story of why they're making this pilgrimage. These tales reveal the complex history connecting each traveller to Hyperion and the Shrike. Father Hoyt, a Catholic priest, tells the first tale. Years ago, another priest named Father Paul Duret travelled to Hyperion seeking the legendary Bakura tribe. Duret discovered them living at the edge of an enormous canyon called the Cleft. The Bakura were strange, exactly 70 bald, robed people who called themselves the 70. They claimed they could not die. Duret learned their secret. Deep in the labyrinth beneath the Cleft, organic parasites called cruciforms attached to their chests and resurrected them after death. But each resurrection diminished them, taking away their intelligence, their gender, their very souls. When a cruciform attached to Duret himself, he realized he was trapped in the same cycle. In desperation, he crucified himself on a tree that accumulated deadly electrical charges, using continuous pain to finally destroy the parasite over 7 agonizing years. Father Hoyt found him still alive, witnessed his final death, and now carries 2 cruciforms, his own and Duret's, suffering increasing agony as they grow stronger. Colonel Kassad, a military officer, shares the next tale. During his training at an elite military academy, Kassad experienced historical battle simulations so realistic they were indistinguishable from reality. In one of these simulations, a mysterious woman appeared and became his lover. She continued appearing throughout his training, always vanishing afterward. Years later, after a devastating space battle, Kassad crash-landed on Hyperion. There, he met the woman again. She called herself Moneta. She led him to the time tombs, where he witnessed the Shrike manipulating time itself. But during an intimate encounter, Moneta transformed into something metallic and predatory, nearly killing him. Kassad survived barely and later resigned from the military. He reveals something chilling to the other pilgrims. In a vision of the future, he saw at least one of them impaled on the Shrike's tree of thorns. He refuses to say who. His goal is not to petition the Shrike, but to destroy it. Martin Silenus, a foul-mouthed poet, tells of his artistic journey. Born on old Earth before its destruction, Martin eventually found himself working in toxic mud pits on a distant world, where he composed his greatest work, the Hyperion Cantos. He achieved commercial success but lost his artistic integrity, writing endless sequels for a publishing corporation. When Martin joined an artistic colony on Hyperion established by an eccentric ruler called Sad King Billy, something terrible happened. Mysterious murders began. Martin realized his epic poem had somehow summoned the Shrike into existence. When King Billy tried to destroy Martin's manuscript to end the killings, the Shrike appeared and killed him in a horrific display. Martin has waited centuries for the Shrike's return, believing only then can he complete his masterwork. Saul Weintraub, an elderly scholar, shares the most heartbreaking tale. His daughter Rachel was an archaeologist studying the time tombs when she was caught in a strange energy surge inside one of the structures. She developed a condition called Merlin's sickness. She ages backward by 1 day every day, and each time she sleeps she loses all memory since the accident plus 1 more day. Saul watched his brilliant adult daughter slowly become a teenager, then a child, then a toddler. Her mother Sarai died in an accident when Rachel was 4. Now, Rachel is an infant of only 7 weeks. Soon, she will reach the moment of her birth and cease to exist entirely. Saul has recurring dreams, where a voice commands him to take Rachel to Hyperion and sacrifice her. He defied the voice in his dreams, demanding that if there is a God, that God should experience what it means to be a father, rather than asking fathers to sacrifice their children. Brawne Lamia, a detective, tells of her client Johnny, a beautiful young man who is actually a cybrid, a physical body controlled by an artificial intelligence based on the poet John Keats. Johnny was created as part of an experiment by the Technocore, the vast network of AIs that secretly manipulates human civilization. He hired Brawne to investigate his own attempted murder, which had destroyed part of his consciousness. Brawne's investigation revealed the Technocore is divided into 3 factions fighting over humanity's fate. The stables want coexistence, the volatiles want humans destroyed. The ultimates are building something called the ultimate intelligence, essentially trying to create God through computation, and will sacrifice humanity if it helps their project. Johnny and Brawne fell in love. When he was mortally wounded, Johnny transferred his complete consciousness to Brawne through a neural implant. She carries him inside her mind now, and she's pregnant with his child. The Shrike Church has proclaimed her the mother of our salvation. The final tale comes from the Consul himself, and it reveals him as a traitor. He is the grandson of Merrin Aspic, a spaceship crew member who fell in love with a woman named Siri on the ocean world of Maui Covenant. Because of relativistic time dilation, their meetings were separated by decades. Merrin watched Siri age from a young woman to an old one while he remained young. Their descendants fought a rebellion against the hegemony called Siri's Rebellion. The Consul's wife and son were killed in the fighting. The Consul admits he's been working as a triple agent. He killed 2 Ooster agents and took a device they gave him. Technology designed to open the time tombs prematurely. He activated it months ago. Everything happening now, the tombs opening, the Ooster invasion, is his doing. He sought vengeance against both the hegemony and the Oosters for destroying his family. The other pilgrims debate executing him for treason, but ultimately decide they need each other. Meanwhile, a 7th pilgrim named Het Mastine, a Templar tree captain, has disappeared. They spot a robed figure walking alone toward the time tombs, possibly Mastine, somehow arriving ahead of them. In the final chapter, the 6 remaining pilgrims awaken at dawn in an abandoned fortress called Kronos Keep. They prepare themselves and descend toward the time tombs, which are glowing with mysterious coloured light, a phenomenon never before reported. A battle rages in space above them between hegemony forces and Ouster invaders. The tree ship Yggdrasil has been destroyed. As they enter the Valley of the Tombs, fear threatens to overwhelm them. Saul Weintraub begins singing an ancient song from a pre-space age film called The Wizard of Oz. We're off to see the wizard. One by one, the others join in. Hand in hand, singing together to overcome their terror, the 6 pilgrims descend into the darkness where the Shrike awaits, each carrying their own desperate hope for healing, for vengeance, for answers, for salvation, not knowing which of them will survive or what the creature that moves through time will demand of them. And there our journey pauses, with 7 pilgrims descending hand in hand toward the Shrike, their fates unknown, the time tombs glowing with impossible light. Dan Simmons crafted something truly special here. 6 interconnected tales that span love, loss, faith, and what it means to be human. If these stories resonated with you, consider picking up Hyperion yourself. The audiobook is phenomenal. If you enjoyed this recap, a like helps more than you know, and subscribing means you won't miss the next chapter. Until then, sweet dreams.